Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast. Talking Ravens all day, every day with your host, Justin P., my MVP co host, Miss Shannon Fitch, and our super special guest, Super D, the mailman, always joining us on this wonderful Thursday, episode 77 for the YouTube channel. And for the audio version, like I always say, the links are right there in the description if you want to follow the show right there. If you can't watch it live, if you're at work or working out, you can always listen to it on the audio version. Also, right below that is our social media platforms for myself, Shannon, and Dave, so you can follow us there as well. Got a good show for y'all. It's Tuesday. Shannon had a banging episode. That I'm good, bad, and ugly. We were just talking about some things as far as pass protection, and the teams feeling more in the pocket. So today we're gonna preview the game versus the Bengals. They just came off an ugly loss, 24-3 versus the Browns. So now we go into the jungle, so they're gonna wanna right that wrong. So for our first topic, we always do matchups. We're gonna start with our coaching matchup. Zach Taylor and John Harbaugh. Go ahead, Dave. You know you're the guest, so you always go first.
All right. I gotta give it to Zach Taylor. I think it's even, but Zach Taylor, he's done a great job these last two seasons, man. 2021 took him to the Super Bowl. They lost to the Rams. Last year had him within one play of beating Kansas City. But I think the league might have figured him out because you saw last week they got their doors blown off by Cleveland. I mean, come on, 3 points against, but it's an improved Cleveland team, but I got I think it's even, but I think overall we get the edge because Mike McDonald he's been doing a great job with that defense. So I just hope that we don't lose him to another team after the season. So Todd Monken, first week, started off slow in the first half. They picked it up a little bit in the second half. So, I think it's pretty even right now as far as coaches.
Okay, got you, Dave. Well said. Go ahead, Shannon.
I'm going to give John Harbaugh the edge. We've talked about it, in the offseason about top coaches in the league. And I explained why I thought that John Harbaugh was a top 10, closer to top five than top 10 coach in the league. And for that reason, I'm giving him the edge over Zach Taylor. Not to say Zach Taylor's not a good coach, but I'm going to go with the guy that I've seen do it longer and deal with it different adversity as well and still have success.
Yeah, like I said, overall, it's definitely Harbaugh for sure. It's no question. But unfortunately, this is a what have you done for the league? So right now, it would have to go to Zach Taylor because, like I said, his team, like Dave just said, his team just went to the Super Bowl, went to two straight AFC Championship games. So right now he gets a slight edge just because, like I said, because that's just how the world lives. They're gonna care about what they saw this last year and the year before versus what they saw 10 years ago, et cetera, et cetera. So right now
Now,
for this, go ahead. No, I said
when
Harbaugh
I
get it over. He
no
get
no no
listen. Harbaugh get it overall. That's what I said. That's not
no
even a
that's fine,
discussion.
right? But
Yeah,
I'm saying I told you this before about sports debates for me
right.
because it's like we've talked about Lamar, right? And
Hmm.
you were one that had an issue with people feeling like he was injury prone, and I was saying to you that it would be different if those injuries happened in the first 2 years versus the last 2 years, and you felt like it shouldn't matter, right? So I'm just saying, how can you not look at overall? And on one hand, you want to, and on another hand, you saying not to. So it's like I get it. I get what you're saying. This
I'm
matchup
trying
in
to.
the past couple of
I,
years, but
yeah.
if you're asking me to judge quarterbacks, I mean, we're sorry, coaches just in general. I mean, that's why I'm saying Harbaugh. But I get your point of saying, what have you done for me lately? Obviously, Harbaugh hasn't done enough, um, in comparison to Zach Taylor. But I just gave why like I look at everything overall and not just whatever may have happened recently. Because in 5 years, if they never go back to the Super Bowl, is anybody going to be talking about that he went to the Super Bowl and lost? You know what I mean?
That's
So all of that matters too. But I get your
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I mean, both
Reason
of y'all got good points. I mean, if
yeah.
you're going to compare it to body of work, of course it's hardball because he's been
Right.
coaching way longer than Taylor. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
I don't
saying?
got
But
nothing else to go off of but history when we talking about matchups. What are we talking about last week?
Right.
Yeah, but last two seasons, I mean, it's been Taylor. If you just look at the last 2 years, I mean, come on, you got him to the top, and
Yeah,
then
and
you one
in the
put
last 2 years, the Ravens have suffered injuries with their quarterback as well.
Very
exactly
true.
We talked about
Very
being
true.
8-4 and being number one in the conference before Lamar went down. So if we're
true,
gonna talk about it, let's get context. Let's put it all out there.
Yeah. See,
no
Shannon,
doubt.
I'm with you. Me personally, I'm taking hardball, but I just want to speak from a non-biased perspective, because you know
Right.
how people be like, oh, they're Raven fans, so of course they're going to say that. So I just want to speak from a non-biased, space for now. Because they're going to be like, damn, our coach just went to the AFC Championship 2 years in a row. Y'all guys ain't win a playoff game since 2020. You know how people are. So I just try to
Yeah,
be that
and
devil's advocate.
context matters. They want to talk about us having issues of injuries. How do you not say that when talking about why a coach haven't won in the playoffs or any whatever they want to say? All
Right.
of that matters. But I get it.
Oh, absolutely. But like I said, me personally, I would go with John. But like I said, as of right now, Jake Taylor probably I get a little bit more love, like you said, because of the most recent success and most recent biases. So, but like I said, overall, our staff is better than because Monken and Mike McDonald, those guys have been
No
coaching
doubt.
for a long time. So they them two as well give us the edge in this coaching
And
matchup.
plus another thing, God, look at Taylor, God, give it to him, man. Like they before Burrow, they were the worst team in the league. They're the number one pick. So
Yeah.
to go from that and then
Mhm.
that quickly to get to the Super Bowl and then almost do it again, that's a great coaching job. So I mean, let's gotta give Taylor his props too. I mean, but of course we're gonna go with our guy because we the Ravens fans. So of course we're gonna go with Harbaugh,
Yeah.
but it's pretty close though.
It's crazy. Before that season, that 2021 season, Zach Taylor was going to get fired.
Yeah,
He was this. You know what
exactly.
saved him? Joe Burrow getting hurt his rookie year. They gave him some grace because you went 2-14 and you went what 5-11 whatever. So they was great.
Yep,
He was great. Be up out of there, but Joe Burrow getting hurt saved him. Then boom, boom, boom.
yep.
So,
And they had a great draft too. Real great draft.
oh yeah, definitely, definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. Quarterback matchup. Both of these guys just got paid. So go ahead, Dave.
Ah, man, this is I gotta give the slight edge to Burrow because like we just said, since Burrows came to the league, his first year, of course, he tore his leg up, unfortunately. But then the last 2 years after that, he's put up big numbers, video game numbers. I mean, 2021, his first full season, he put up 4,611 yards, 34 touchdowns. Then last year, 4,475 yards, 35 touchdowns. And the only reason I give him the slight edge is he's had postseason success. So and then once again, he single handedly made Cincinnati relevant. So, second season losing the Super Bowl, that's pretty impressive. But of course, Lamar, he's done great himself. He had his team in first place his last 2 years before he got hurt. 2019 MVP. Burrow, he doesn't have an MVP yet, and he's been 49-21. So it's like right now I gotta give Burrow a 10 and Lamar 9.99999. So it's real close.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I mean. I agree, Dave. Well said. Go ahead, Shane.
I also think it's Joe Burrow. I'm not a fan of I like mobile quarterbacks, not necessarily running quarterbacks. When I think of a quarterback, I just think about, old fashioned quarterback, not being like a statue and not being able to move around in a pocket. But I just prefer old, y'all know what I mean when I say old school type of quarterback. He's a hybrid. He can do, he can run, he can pass, he can do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that reason, I'm giving it to Joe Burrow because he's more of a quarterback to me as far as what you expect from a quarterback. Lamar's different. Doesn't mean he's not a great quarterback. Doesn't mean, like we've talked about, top five before. Doesn't mean Lamar's not a top five quarterback. But Joe Burrow's different. And as you mentioned, his impact with their organization and how much they changed, just the culture changed immediately when he came. Like we saw them go through Carson Palmer. We saw Andy Dalton. Like we've seen the Bengals have winning teams. We've never seen the Bengals be like this and be a legit threat. And I think that starts with Joe Burrow. So definitely Joe Burrow to me.
Yeah, I gotta give it to Joe Shiesty as well. That's what they call him. I'm a Lamar
So
guy.
nice.
Everybody know this. But like I said, the playoff success, like first 4 years, you get to the Super Bowl, yeah, they lost, but then almost get back. They were one penalty away from getting back. So, definitely, man. Like you said, Dave, you pulled up the numbers. You just put up some video game numbers. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just like it's just slight edge. It's not a huge gap at all. It's a slight edge to bro. And then the fact that he has more chemistry with his offensive weapons than Lamar do with his, and his play caller too. So those come in account as well. All right,
No doubt.
let's go running back matchups. Wait, Dave.
Man, gotta go with the Bengals again, man. They got a great offense. I gotta give them that. Joe Mixon, 7 years. He's got 3 seasons over 1,000 yards, man. He had 814 yards last year, 7 touchdowns, 14 games, and also he has 60 catches. So he's a good receiving back out the backfield. I gotta give prayers up to J.K. Dobbins, man. Real sad, man. I mean, not again, man. The injury bug bit him again. I hope he bounces back. That Achilles, I told him my Achilles is tough. That rehab is a beast, man. It's tough rehab. So hope he comes back. But hey, come on, Gus the Bus. This is your time. 5 yards of carry through your career. He missed 2021 with a torn ACL, but he's had 3 seasons from 2018 to 2020 with 700 yards. I think he can do the job. This is Gus Edwards. You're going to put it together. Justice Hill looked really good last week. You know, hit 2022 was his best season last year. He had a quiet little 262 yards, but he averages 5.3 yards a carry. I really think Justice Hill can do what J.K. Dobbins can do with the opportunity. So I want to see how they're going to, divide up these carries right here. But I want to see Gus really get a chance to really be the guy.
Oh man, well said, Dave. Go ahead, Shannon.
I'll go with the Bengals as well. Joe Mixon alone, sets them apart from us, and the fact that we're banged up right now and trying to figure out exactly how that rotation is going to be, I'll definitely give that to the Bengals.
Yeah, I hate to say I gotta go Cincy because, like I said, when all those fails, they can count on Joe Mixon to get 20 carries, 25 carries. If it's a game, they know the passing game is a little off, they can turn around, hand it to him, and get things going. Like I said, we got Gus and Justice Hill. You know, our rotation alone equals him. So him by himself. Then if I think they got a rookie, Lenny Evans for their fast back as their backup, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's definitely the Bengals right now.
Hmm.
All right, before we get to the next topic, he's big guys. He said, "Hey, this Keith, league member with Dave." Anyway, he said, anyway, what do you think about reporter saying Burrow was hurt and that's why he didn't perform week 1? We could touch this real fast. We could double tap. It's great, Dave.
Yeah, what's up, Keith? What's good, my dude? Man, I mean, I think honestly, I think it's a cop out. I mean, well, we know that he hurt his calf in preseason, but I just think that he got whooped last week. Last week, I mean, quarterbacks they have bad games from time to time. So I just think he had a bad game. Honestly, I wouldn't just chalk it up to him being hurt. I mean, his arm wasn't hurt. He was just overthrowing. Like you see I seen some highlights. He was overthrowing guys bad. So I don't think it has nothing to do with him being hurt last week.
Okay, go ahead, Shannon.
Yeah, I won't say that he's hurt. I will say that him being hurt over the summer and not being able to be out there with his guys may have attributed to his bad performance in week 1. Doesn't mean that he's still hurt now, but overall, because of the time he missed, I definitely think that could have affected some things with them and timing and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Because like you said, he was missing some reps and missing. He didn't play in the preseason. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it had something to do with it. Cause then you got Miles Garrett and Zadarius Smith burning down your back. You can barely get away with a already, their line is so. Although they made improvements, but it's still, but like it didn't quite like click yet for them to be a whole unit to keep them
Hmm.
upright. That's been their problem. They lost the Super Bowl because Aaron Donald just basically just deboed them the whole entire game. So that's one of their biggest Achilles heels right there. So
Hmm.
definitely I agree with that sentiment. Brandon
Oh,
Bazel, what's going on, bro? Definitely always my man always chiming in. All right, let's go to our next topic. Scroll up real fast. All right, wide receivers. Go ahead, Dave.
Man, I gotta give it to the Bengals again, man. They got some elite talent on that side of the ball. Jamar Chase, a top five receiver in the game. We already know what he does. He killed us last couple seasons, man. And I think T. Higgins is about top 15 receiver in the game. Also, Tyler Boyd's a very good possession receiver. But we got some good guys too, man. Zay Flowers showed out last week. He did a great job, man. He was making plays after the catch. He was breaking ankles. Man, he looked great last week. Odell Beckham didn't really get a lot of opportunities his first game back, but I think he'll pick it up throughout the season. Rashad Bateman made some nice catches over the middle. That's what we need from him. Like, I just need Bateman to be a good possession receiver. Just catch the ball. He was a great outlet last week. So, but I gotta give it to Cincinnati. But it's not as big as a gap as it used to be. We coming. So,
Yeah, agreed. Wasn't well said, Dave. Go ahead, Shannon.
Yeah, I'll go with the Bengals as well. I mean, they have two guys who could easily be a number one on every team across the league. T. Higgins is a guy that I wanted the Ravens to draft when he was in the draft.
Yeah, you both.
So I'll
oh, yeah.
definitely give the edge to them. But I think that with more time this season, mid-season, I think the Ravens are going to be better offensively anyway, just playing, having more time to play together. So it may be a different discussion the next time we play them. But right now, yes, I definitely give the Bengals that edge.
Yeah, essentially. 'Cause like I said, you got these three guys that been together for so long. Jamal Chase been doing his thing. T. Higgins, like you said, he's a number one on just about most teams. Not number one, definitely still number two. So Tyler Boyd solid number three. They picked up a couple young rookies as well. So that's going to contribute. So yeah, and us, like you said, by us just getting together, Duvernay and Bateman played okay. OBJ made the best of his opportunities last week, even though won a whole lot. Say looked good. You know, the Aguilar is going to be some games where he's going to come through. So yeah, it's definitely not a huge gap as it was in years past. So yeah, but it's like yeah, it still goes to the Bengals.
Hmm.
Now right here, this probably be our first edge of the offense so far. Tight ends. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh yeah, tight ends. We got this now. I know we got this now. Mark Andrews, we gonna need you this game, baby. Come on now. Well, we didn't need him for that Houston game. I knew we was gonna beat them. But this is Mark Andrews now. Come on now, second best guy in the game. I need that thigh to get better. Isaiah Likely, Kolar, they're good backups, but we really need Andrews to win this game right here. For the Bengals, they got Irv Smith Jr. He's a journeyman. I ain't worried about that. Let's go.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Pretty much the same. I mean, as I've been saying, we have three. Like two is better than one, and we have three. And one of our three is Mark Andrews, and we all know that, like we said, he's one of the top two, three tight ends in the league, and that's pretty much all you need to say about that. So we definitely got that matchup.
Oh,
Oh
for
yeah.
sure, definitely. Like I said, they got Irv Smith. And I forgot the other two guys, Sample and somebody else. Andrews, Kolar, and like yeah, like I said, Andrews, in my opinion, the second best tight end in the league behind Travis Kelsey. So yeah, like there's no discussion with that one. So yeah, that's one of our best weapons. So hopefully he's healthy that way he can orchestrate the middle of the field for us. All right, time to get to the big uglies, the offensive line. Go ahead, Dave.
Let's go, Baltimore. Come on now. Cincy's line, they got more, man. They like Swiss cheese, man. They got holes everywhere, man. Come on now. Miles Garrett and them, they're beating them up. They're beating them bad last week. They only managed 6 first downs. Pretty much every time Joe Burrow threw the ball, he was getting hit, man. They was only 2 for 15 on third down last week, man. They couldn't block anybody. But the Ravens, they weren't that much better. That first half, they weren't very good. But the second half, they did just enough to get Lamar able to, make some plays. But I need Ronnie Stanley. I need you to do better because you didn't show me nothing last week. This is one of the worst I ever seen Ronnie Stanley. So I need him to pick it up. And I know, so I need Morgan Moses to pick it up, man. Young Will Anderson had his way with him, man. And the pass blocking was average at best. The run blocking was all right, but I need them to pick it up. But I think that we're better than them, as a unit. Though.
Well said. Go ahead, Shannon.
I think I'm gonna go with the Bengals for this. Like you just said, Dave. Neither
Mm.
one of them was like did
Mm.
much more better than the other. The reason why I'm going to go with the Bengals is because, as far as I know, they didn't lose any offensive linemen. You guys can tell me if they did, and we lost two. So going into week two, I don't know how much better the line will be or what it's going to look like with who's going to be out there. So for that reason, I'm going to give the Bengals the edge.
I'm gonna go with us because, like you said, both teams O lines. I always did a little bit better because we won the game. So that right there is a clear indication. So I'm gonna go with that.
That
But also we know we'll be okay. We got Patrick McCarty who can play everywhere on the line. Mafia Leahy, if he had to step in, he can play. Salah, we know he can hold his own. You know, Ben Cleveland, push gonna show we can get a little something about him. The Bengals, you don't know who's on their backup offensive line at all. And you know we got one of the best O line coaches in Coach Joe D. Alexander. So that alone, I'm gonna give us the edge just because of the depth and the fact that we can plug guys in and it don't just go to hell. So, all right,
hope we don't need to use Ben Cleveland though.
we all do. But if he did the play, I think he'll be okay. All right. And defensive side of the ball, interior defensive line, because like I said, they're 4-3 team, 3-4. So our front interior, just the interior, three, and their front four. So go ahead, Dave.
Oh, the D line, we definitely got that, man. They did a great job last week, man. I gotta give them a gold star. They shut that run down. Bernard Pierce didn't. I mean, Damian Pierce didn't. I'm thinking of Bernard Pierce. He was good back in the day.
Yeah, yeah,
Damian
yeah.
Pierce didn't do nothing. Shut them down. So great job by them guys, man. Travis Jones, all of them. Bradley Washington, great job. They stuffed that run. And that's what we gotta do with this game because you see Joe Burrow, he doesn't look like we can't let him get warmed up. If he gets warmed up, we in trouble. But so we have to slow down Joe Mixon. They have a good D line too. DJ Reader, Hill, he's all right, But Nick Chubb ran all over them last week. So I definitely think the Ravens got this one. Just keep doing what we doing.
Well said. Go ahead, Shannon.
I'll give the Ravens the edge on this. And Dave kind of just said my point, more or less based on the run defense. You know what happened last week. Now, I mean, Chubb is not a sorry running back. He's one of the best running backs in the league as well. So people like that, they're going to get theirs anyway. But for that reason, I'll give it to the Ravens. But I know that the Bengals are one of the few teams that can get pressure and do things up front with just sending four guys. So I mean that also makes them kind of a good defensive line as well. So it's not an easy pick, but I'll go with the Ravens just based on last week along with how well they did stop the run. Because again, our front seven was part of our question marks this offseason. So I feel like they answered a lot Sunday, even though we could say the opponent wasn't, top tier, they're still NFL guys.
Well said, Shannon. Ravens as well. Roger
Yeah.
Washington played well. Manny BK had a sack, pushed the pocket as well. Travis Jones played pretty well. Besides that, no bonehead roughing the passer, but other than that, he had a pretty good game. Michael Pierce did him was commanding double team. You said Damian Pierce couldn't do much. CJ Stroud was under the rest majority of the game. So yeah, definitely give us the edge in the interior D line. All right.
Mhm.
Middle linebackers, even though they're 4-3 team, we're 3-4, but we can still do it. Great day.
Oh yeah, definitely. Come on, man. This is like varsity versus JV right here, man. Come on, man. Roquan Smith. This is what 20 million a year looks like. 16 tackles last week. Had a sack, knocking down. Yeah, that pass he knocked down. Man, Roquan Smith was the best player on the field last week. Come on, man. He did what he needed to do. Like I said, as we've been talking throughout the off season, all that. This is why this guy's super important right here. This is the leader right here. So Roquan Smith and they got Jermaine Pratt. Come on, man. We already know it's varsity versus JV, baby Raven.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Pretty much the same. Ravens, and that's all because of Roquan Smith. I mean, even Patrick Queen had himself a game early on, especially like the first couple of series. His fingerprints were all over that.
Oh yeah.
So definitely the Ravens.
Ravens, like you said, Roro, Pat Quinn, both had a sack. Both was all over the place. Then our guys behind them, Malik Harrison played well. Trenton Simpson did his thing on special teams and contribute with it, when he could. So definitely the Ravens. It's just Luke Wilson for them falls in the middle. I mean Jermaine Pratt. All right. Outside linebackers. I feel like we got this too. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh yeah, baby. We got this all day, every day. Man, Clowney was all in the backfield. He missed about 3, 4 sacks, man. He was
Yeah.
all he was in there so fast. He was overrunning the quarterback, man. So I mean, Clowney Owe did a great job also, man. Owe has taken that next step. He did a great job. Ojabo guy in there got him a sack too. Come on, man. We got great job by the outside linebackers. We got because this is where the game has to come down to. You have got to get pressure on Joe Burrow. You saw how that's how Cleveland beat him last week. Because if you let Joe Burrow sit back there and throw the ball, he's gonna kill you. So you gotta get in there. So I need him just keep up doing what they're doing, just like they did last week, and we'll be fine. As
Hmm.
far as they got, who they got? Logan Wilson, Akeem Davis, Gaither. Come on, man. We'll get out of here with that, man. Ravens all day, big time. We got that.
Agreed. Go ahead, Shannon.
Same. I'm the Ravens. I mean, that was one of our biggest concerns in the offseason as well, and they were a pleasant surprise on Sunday. For all the reasons Dave just said, it's definitely the Ravens, and I was proud of those guys because I didn't know what was going to happen, but they had a great day. So if they can even do a little bit of that or come close to that, or like we said, finish on some of those, get some sacks, that'll be even better. But they were definitely there. They were getting there.
Oh, definitely. This is us by a landslide. I'm sorry. Like I said, Logan Wilson and King Davis, they're okay, but Clowney played amazing. Like I said, he just got to finish, which I think he will do in due time.
Hmm.
So this Jabo had a heck of a game. Adafio did his thing. Then, like I said, Bowser's coming. He's get ready to play soon. Then I think Tavares Robinson, Malik Ham, they'll eventually, contribute when we need them out there. So yeah, definitely the Ravens are outside linebacker, and that's a landslide. Here it gets tricky because of the injuries. Cornerbacks. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh man, Marlon Humphrey, come on back, baby. We need you right here. Come on, man. Get it together. But without Marlon Humphrey, Ronald Darby, great job last week, man. He really showed me something. I was nervous. That was the thing that really had my attention last week was the corners. So, but Ronald Darby, great job. He was better than I expected. I remember he was good. He's been hurt, missed a lot of time these last couple years, but he was solid last week. Brandon Stevens, he did a decent job. He made a few plays. Like I said, Brandon Stevens, he's kind of a hybrid between a corner and a safety. So, but he was all right. Darius Washington, he was all right in coverage. So, but once again, the pass rush has got to help the corners out. They have some pretty good corners. A Woozier from that he came over from Dallas. He's pretty solid. Cam Taylor Britt. So they got some solid corners. So, once again, I think I think it's about even on this one.
I'll say it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Um, if we had Marlon playing, I would say the Ravens. But because he's not, I am going to go with the Bengals. I mean, Marlon is an elite talent at cornerback. So not having him definitely changes things. But like you said, Dave, I mean, those guys did well last week, better than probably most expected them to do. Even dealing with injuries in the back, they still did what they had to do back there. So I'll give it to the Bengals this go round. But again, like we said with the wide receivers, that could be different the next time we face them.
Yeah, me, I'm gonna go even right now. Because like I said, Rocketson, like I said, Ronald Darby. They got Cam Taylor Britt, Woozier, DJ Turner. We got let's see, Jalen Armour Davis, Demarion Williams, Pepe Williams, Brandon Stevens played corner and safety. So yeah, it's about even right now. But when Marlo come back, it's clearly us. But yeah, right now I'm gonna go even with Dave. Safeties. Go ahead, Dave.
Oh, safeties. Once again, we got this again. Once again, we're gonna miss Marcus Williams for. Why does he always have to get hurt early in the season? Come on, man.
Yeah, yeah, I
No,
know.
torn pec. So I hope it's not too long. I know he's definitely gonna probably miss at least 3 weeks. A torn pec. That's a pretty tough one to come back. So, but Kyle Hamilton, he did a good job. Once again, this young fella, sky's the limit for him. And Geno Stone, he did a good job. Once again, next man up. Geno Stone, he came in, he was ready. Geno Stone, he's another. I think he has Chuck Clark potential. So Ardarius Washington, he did a pretty good job. Once again, he's a little guy, so he did a good job coming in, and we definitely got this. They missed Jesse Bates last week. Jesse Bates, they Pro Bowl safety. They got Nick Scott and Dax Hill. So I think them guys can get got right there. So, but I think Ravens, we still got it even without Marcus Williams.
Well said. Go ahead, Shannon.
Um, I'll give this one to the Ravens. For one, Kyle Hamilton. I think we're all pretty high on him. And I feel bad about Marcus Williams. Like it's unfortunate because it's another injury that's probably going to keep him out all season. If he comes back, it might be close to the playoffs. If he can. I remember it's kind of reminds me of Ray Lewis' injury that year. When we did win a Super Bowl.
Dear Atlas,
But
bro.
yeah, but Ray did miss.
Yeah,
Ray missed a lot of games during that season, and he was able to come back in the playoffs. So hopefully we can get that with Marcus. But yeah, I'll definitely give it to the Ravens, and for depth reasons as well. Even though we have an injury, like you said, those guys stepped in, and it was like they didn't miss a beat.
Oh, definitely Ravens. Because like I said, Cal Hamilton, the mutant out there. I call him Baby Cam Chancellor. He's out there. You got Geno. Darius Washington, Brandon Stevens, and Daryl Waller. Don't sleep on him, man. Daryl Waller be making plays on the low, man. He can come play the nickel, outside corner, safety. He told Harbaugh, he said, just put me on the football field, I'll make a play. And that's what he's been doing preseason and regular
Hmm.
season. So definitely got to give us a slight edge right there. And they do got Dax Hill, Nick Scott, Jordan Battle, but they're still a little unproven.
Hmm.
I think we're going to win this in majority, our majority of teams. Special teams, go ahead, Dave.
man, special teams is definitely an unsung, part of our team. They've done very well. Of course, we know Justin Tucker, the greatest of all time. You already know what he does. Whenever we need him, he's ready. But how about Jordan Stout last week with that 66-yard punt, man? My man got lead in his foot, man. That one punt that he had early in the first quarter definitely switched the field position for us. And Duvernay's a Pro Bowl returner, so whenever we need him, he's gonna be ready. Evan McPherson, he's a pretty good kicker for them. So, but Ravens all day, we got that.
What's going on, Mr. Gary Ramsey? He said Cal Hamilton get his first interception this week. What you think about that, Dave?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think we gonna need him because they gonna test our secondary with them receivers that they got. We gonna need them to be ready.
What about you, Shannon?
It's possible. I think that Joe Burrow and the wide receivers are going to want to, get that stink off of them from last week. Like Dave said, they're going to be testing the secondary. So I can see it. I can see it.
I definitely consider too. He had one last year, but it was a penalty, so it wiped it out. But yeah, because he's playing more deep now versus being at the line of scrimmage last year. So yeah, I can see him getting an interception because they're definitely gonna want to push the ball down the field because we got the injuries and all that.
Hmm.
All right. All right. On next topic, what concerns you the most heading into Sunday's game? Go ahead, Dave.
I got two concerns.
Hmm.
I need the offensive line to play a whole game. Because once again, that
Mm-hmm.
first half, they did not look good against the Houston Texans. So once again, lucky for us, we played was probably going to be one of the worst teams in the league. We cannot afford to have a letdown like that against a tough team like the Steelers, who have a tough D line. So I need the O line to play a whole game and keep Lamar clean. You cannot, we cannot let Cincinnati. Well, I think whoever has the best start is going to win this game. So if we got to start fast. Also, I need the pass rush to continue to do what they do. You got to slow down Joe Burrow because, like I said, they have elite receivers. So you cannot let Joe Burrow get warmed up. So that's my biggest concern.
Well said. Go ahead, Dave. Big boy Shannon. I'm sorry, Dave just went.
The same offensive line. The first half of that game was just like unbelievable. First couple of snaps, I was like, "What is going on?" Like Lamar didn't have any time to do anything. They couldn't pass protect. They could run protect, which they're always pretty good at. And we talked about this as well on Tuesday. The adjustments made at the halftime was clear because they did get better in the second half. But that's my biggest concern right now. Like I said, losing Ronnie Stanley and Tyler Linderbaum, that's tough. Like you lost two starters on the line, and I understand having depth, but like we've said before, there are guys who are starters and backups for a reason. So I'm not saying that they can't go out there and just fill a role and do the damn thing like we all hope they do. But they are my biggest concern heading into Sunday's game because the Bengals on both sides of the ball, they're going to have something to prove either way. And just like we can sit back and say that their offensive line got work, our offensive line got work too, and we're down two starters. So they are my biggest concern because we can't afford to get Lamar hurt. Like we just can't do it.
Before I start, Shannon, so Lindenbaugh and Stanley are ruled out. They already ruled out.
Well, Harbaugh, I don't. They haven't ruled any of them out. He just said like week to week. So for me, I'm just not expecting them to play on Sunday. And if he already saying week to week, they might need to sit out a week. I don't know what the. I would just rather they not play Sunday and something else happen. But no, they haven't been ruled out from what I've saw. They're not practicing though. The same four people are not practicing, but Mark Andrews is back. But Stanley and neither one of them are practicing.
I mean, that's my concern too. So hopefully, I know Makari gonna do his thing. It's just now who's gonna be that center. Sam Mustaford. I mean, he showed a little something. So we just gotta have faith that Coach Deegan just gonna put on a good coaching job for us there. And if the O line is gonna be an issue, Todd Monk can get the ball out in Lamar hand quick. One, two, you feel me? No more than three-step drops. So I know you want to take shots. We'll get to that. But get it out of his hand quick. Use Pat Ricard need to be used like a lineman Sunday. He need to be everywhere.
Yeah,
Yes.
use them
Off the
early.
line
Yeah,
scrimmage, back there beside Lamar, he need to be that extra guy blocking. Because like you said, we now
yeah.
two starters, two Pro Bowl caliber starters. So Pat Ricard need to be the most work he get all season. He don't need to be only time he need to be on sidelines when we on defense. And hell, if we need him there, put him at put him on the D line. But that and then our secondary, because like I said, now you're going to get some much better receiving core. You're not going against Nico Collins and John Mechie and Robin Woods, who's one leg in, one leg out the lead. You're going to get Jamar Chase, Boyd, and Higgins, who we just said, like probably the best trio in the league. So yeah, now you're gonna have Rocky Sin covering Jamar Chase because now he's our best corner. Can Ronald Darby hang with T. Higgins? Can Jalen Allen Davis cover Tyler Boyd? So it's like those things going to play into effect. They my two concerns. But if the pass rush play like they're supposed to, at least one of my concerns could be alleviated. And then if Joe D. Alexander and Todd Monken come up with a plan together to get the ball out the hand quick and slide extra protection in, like using Ricard or using Likely to give them 1 or 2 extra seconds, though I can feel a little bit better Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
All right, our last topic of the day. There's a couple parts to it. We're going to start with our score predictions. Go ahead, Dave.
Ravens, we're going to pull this one out too, man. 27-23.
I like that. Go ahead, Shannon.
Um, I'm gonna go Bengals 24-20. And my reason for that is because I know they're gonna want to get that stink off them from last week. This is their home opener. Um, Lamar hasn't played in Cincinnati and since 2020, I believe I was reading earlier. I didn't even realize that he hasn't been there the
Yeah,
past 2 years.
yeah.
Um, I just think they're going to be pumped. I think sometimes we, like being at home helps out a lot. Being a homeowner, I'm sorry, being a home opener helps out a lot. And how they lost, like I said, losing is one thing. How you lose is another. A lot of people have like fallen off or jumped off the bandwagon of the Bengals since last week, which is just like 1 week anything can change. But I think all of that together is going to motivate them to want to prove that that was a fluke. And I do. I think that they're just going to have that. It doesn't mean we're going to play bad. I just think that it's going to be about 20-24 Bengals.
And for anybody come at Shannon that she's just being objective, we're not going to go 17-0, so we're going to have to take an
Right.
L somewhere. So please don't attack my co because I will jump out there and fight you.
They
No
can do
doubt.
it.
We
Anyway,
got you,
anyway,
Sam.
of course, got your back. Got your back, Quinn. I'm gonna go Ravens 27-24. I think both teams are gonna trade. It's gonna be like a heavyweight boxing match. Both teams gonna trade. I think our offense got something to prove too. So they've been getting called out low key on radio shows. You pay Lamar his money, blah 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 blah. So I think he's gonna. I think him and Joe gonna go back and forth. I just think Justin Tucker gonna get the game win. I think our defense gonna get that one play that's gonna make a difference, and then JT gonna kick it home for us out there. So I got 27-24 Raiders. All right, let's go with stat line. So y'all can give me a stat line for Lamar and Joe Burrow. We'll do it like that. Then we'll go by each position. Go ahead, Dave.
I think Lamar's going to have a better game than he did against Houston. As you can see in the second half, he started to warm up a little bit. The first half, he hasn't played much. A little, you get the jitters out, you get the butterflies out. So I'm gonna say Lamar 230 passing, one touchdown, and rushing. I think he's gonna run the ball a little bit more this week. I think so. I think 70 yards rushing and a touchdown on the ground. And for Burrow, I think Burrow might light us up a little bit. I think Burrow might throw 320, maybe two touchdowns.
Okay, go ahead, Shannon.
Um, for Lamar, I would say he would probably pass for like 175 and
Damn,
run
back to back weeks. Ooh.
because I believe that, like I said it before, I felt like it was going to be growing pains with the offense. I don't think it's going to be automatically fixed in a week. I mean, I hope they look totally different Sunday than they did last week. But I just think it's still going to be growing pains, with the
Right.
offense. So yeah, I say about 175 passing. He'll probably run for about 35, 40 yards. I could see one passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown from Lamar. And I say that because I think Lamar is also hungry to want to play in Cincinnati. He knows that he hasn't been there. And he knows also that everybody felt like if he played in that playoff game last year, that it would have been different. So I think that he's also going to go out there with something to prove. But as far as passing, I still think it's going to be some growing pains with the passing game, getting it to be where we need it to be. And if he's going to throw for more than 170 something yards, then we might need to pass a little bit longer than 20 yards. I think they said one time last game, it went for 20 yards, more than 20 yards or 20 yards. So we got to do more than that. Or we're just going to be dependent on Zay Flowers and everybody to get yak. But it's something, Lamar can also help in that regard as far as getting more yards. So that's for him. And as far as Burrow, I'll say maybe he'll pass for 220, maybe two passing touchdowns.
Okay, I'm not gonna be a little too different. I'm gonna go Lamar. I'm gonna give him a little bit more than 175. I'm gonna give him about 230. I think this week he'll connect on the passes that we didn't get. He didn't get the hit. Just he ready to go. He eager to go out there and play and make plays. I'm gonna give him two touchdowns in the air, about 45 yards on the ground. He's not gonna be running a whole lot. For Burrow, I'll give him about 250. He could probably throw about three touchdowns because, like I said, Joe Mixon, they use him, but a lot of times when they get to the red zone, they throw it up to T. Higgins. So that's my stat line for them. All right, we'll do running backs and receivers, then we'll get to the offensive defensive players. So give me a stat line for the running backs, Dave.
I think Gus gonna have a big game, man. I think Gus gonna give. I think I'm gonna give Gus 90 yards rushing. He gonna definitely get in the paint. I think Justice Hill he'll get some too. I think Justice Hill about 50 yards and a touch. I think Mixon, he's a great running back. I'm gonna give him about 85 yards and a touchdown. So yeah.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Um, we just doing the stars or collective?
We could just do the stars to make, we don't gotta do every single play at that position.
Um, I would say Gus will probably run for about 75 to 80 yards. And that's because I think that it's going to be more of a rotational thing on our side. Um, I don't think that he's going to have a touchdown only because I feel like if he does enough to get us down the field, they're probably going to get him out in the red zone. And like we saw last week with Justice Hill getting touchdown, somebody else will come in and get that touchdown. So he might, I see him not getting the touchdown only because I see him doing more work. So unless he breaks off a big one, I don't really see that happening. As far as Mixon, I think that he'll have about 85 to 90 yards and one touchdown.
Me, I'll give Mixon 75 to 80 yards. No touchdown. Like I said, I think Burrow will throw the ball. Gus, I give him about 70 yards on the ground, and maybe and probably a touch. Justice Hill about 50, 45 to 50 yards. Couple like about 25 yards receiving. A couple catches out the backfield. All right, we're gonna include the wide receivers and tight ends with this one. Go ahead, Dave.
All right. I think Zay gonna have a big game, man. I think Zay gonna get 100 this game, man. I think Zay gonna get 100 yards. And I think Andrews, like I said, we need Andrews this game. First game back. I think he'll get like some big catches. Not a big stat line, maybe like 60 yards. I think he'll get a red zone touchdown. I got Andrews getting in the paint this week. And on the other side, I think Chase is going. He kills us, man. Like I said, we don't have Marlon, so I'm really scared of Jamar Chase this week. And he didn't do much last week. He looked a little unhappy. So I know he told Joe Burrow, "Throw me the ball." I couldn't do nothing against the Elves. So I think Chase gonna get us kind of good. I think he'll get about buck 20. I think T Higgins will get about 90. So yeah, I think it's gonna be big numbers.
Okay, go ahead, Shannon.
I kind of agree with Dave. I think that Zay Flowers will continue to grow each week. I think he had like 70 something yards last game.
9 for 78.
So I could see him getting like, I think he's going to get a little. Well, if Mark Andrews play, because I don't know, I know he's been practicing. I don't know if they said yes or no, but I think he's going to play, right? So if he plays, that definitely opens up things for all of the receivers, all of the pass catchers, in general. So I'll say Zay will get 80 yards, passing 80 yards in general. I think Odell will have about 40 to 50 yards touchdown because he's going to be a red zone threat. Mark Andrews, I think it'll be about 50 to 60 for him, and I can also see a touchdown for Mark Andrews. And as far as the Bengals, I also think Chase is going to have a big game. I can see him having a 100-yard game. He's like I said, I'm sure they're pissed off about last week, and we know that our secondary right now is kind of it's one of our most injury prone areas at this point right now. So yeah, I can see him having 100 yards. I can also see him having a touchdown or two. I can see T Higgins having about 80 yards and a touchdown. Um, Boyd might even get in for about 40 yards, and their tight end might get like 25 to 30 and a touchdown.
Okay. Yeah, I know Jamal Chase definitely gonna go try to go hard because you didn't see what Denzel Ward put on Twitter.
What?
He put the lock sign with Jamal Chase holding his head down, frustrated.
Oh no,
You
I
know
didn't
them
see
two
that.
been go. You know them two been going at it all summer. So yeah. So he
I
put that.
gotta see that.
Denzel Ward put that on there. So yeah, he ain't say nothing because he nothing really could say. He had 23 yards, but he definitely gonna eat. He gonna get 100 for sure. T Higgins
Mhm.
between 75, 80. Boyd, like you said, 40 to 50. Eric Smith about 30 yards probably. Even Joe Mixon might catch a couple at the backfield. So,
Mhm.
I got Zay getting probably 80. OBJ with like 50. Mark, if he plays 65 to 75 yards a tut. I got a tut for Zay. and I got a tub for OBJ as well. Aguilar might chip in with about 40 yards. And Duvernay might even catch about 25 to 30 yards. I think Monkey gonna try to spread it around a little bit more since the old line is a little bit in shambles. All right, let's go with our offensive player of the game. So they picked the Ravens. So who you got being offensive player of the game for us?
Oh man, it's Action Jackson, man. Lamar gonna lead us this game. I got Lamar.
Okay, go ahead, Shane. You picked the Bengals. So go ahead. Who your offensive player of the game for them?
Mm, I guess Jamal Chase. Like I didn't know that. I didn't know that our predictions had to be also our play offensive play of the game, but that's fine. So I
Yeah,
don't know that. But
somebody got to help
no,
that
because
prediction come true.
no. What I'm saying is like talk about it later. I just thought that we were just saying in general, not on who based on who you pick for the game. But if that's the case, I'll just say Jamal Chase.
Okay, yeah.
Because I
So
was going to say Lamar, but I'll just go with Jamal Chase since I got to stick with my prediction.
got you. I respect that, Coles. Me, L Boogie, at 8. I think 8 gonna put on his cape, man, and find a way to get it done for us. Because he know, man, like he gotta live up to that contract. So definitely Lamar offensively. Defensive player of the game. Go ahead, Dave.
It's gonna be Roquan Smith. He's gonna keep doing what he been doing. You know, he led us last week. He's gonna keep leading us, man. Row all day.
Like that. Go ahead, Shannon.
I don't know. Anybody you want to say? No, because honestly, because like when you send these topics, right? I didn't know that though. I thought you were just saying like in general, like for the Ravens, like who do we think was going to be the offensive player of the game or defensive player of the game? I don't even think about the Bengals like that. I think they're going to win Sunday, but I ain't thinking like a player is going to be the player of the game.
Caught you slipping,
So
didn't
anybody, no, it's just because I don't look at them like that, but. I mean, whoever you want to pick on the defense, since we got to go
so,
with the
so
predictions.
you think like Cheetah Bear, Woozy,
Whoever, anybody you
Sam
want to pick.
Sam Hubbard? Okay,
No, because
okay.
I had my. Let me tell you, when you sent me the stuff, my
You
because
know
like
what? You know what?
no 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 because
I was,
no because that's what I don't mind doing it your way. I just didn't know we was
yeah.
doing it that way because like people do this right, but they'll still make it about the Ravens. Like who do you still think was the Ravens offensive player game or D? That's where my mind was at. So my picks were going to be Lamar because I think that Lamar still got something to prove, and I was going
That's
to
what I'm
say
gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do
Kyle
for you,
Ham,
Shan.
and I
That's
was
what I'm
going to
gonna do
say Kyle Hamilton. But no, we can do it however you want. I just wasn't aware. I thought we was talking about the Ravens. So anybody you want to pick on their defense, I don't care. Like my reason for thinking they're going to win is just because of what the way they lost, being at home opener, the energy, all of that. That's what I think. But yeah, anybody on the
for you.
Bengals you want
Okay,
to pick,
gotcha.
that's fine.
Me, I'm gonna go different because Roquan consensus, but I think they're gonna throw the ball a lot, so he will have some impact in the passing game, not as much as this person. I'm gonna go David Ajabo. I think he gonna get a sack or two. That's gonna change some stuff. Like I said, Bengals O line been up in shambles. They're gonna throw the football a lot because Joe Burrow gonna want to prove himself. So I'm gonna go David Ajabo right there. Oh man, great show, everybody. Great show, everybody. Great topics as usual. So, Dave, anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
Yeah, no doubt, man. I just want to give a happy birthday shout out my homegirl Juliet Talley. Happy birthday, Jules. I want to say congratulations to my man Arthur Lewis. He dropped his book. Look for his book called King Arthur. You know, a couple guys, like I say, I'm trying to get some things going on. Bill Montgomery, Billy Giles, and my brother Tim Woods. Also, I want to give a get well soon to my sister. She had knee surgery, Lisa Ruffin. And that's about it, man. Keep it a stat crew all day, my guys, all day.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Shannon.
I just want to say, just because I picked the Bengals to win, it doesn't mean that I don't want the Ravens to win or
Yeah, I'm
don't
about to
hope
say
that they win.
I can see the
I
comments later on now. What she
I just
been baby?
because I mean, realistically, at some point, I'm sure y'all two gonna feel like another team is gonna win. I just
Yeah,
feel like
absolutely. We're not going
with
we're
No
not going
doubt.
everything that
17-0. Yeah, we're not going
yeah,
17-0 for that.
No doubt.
I do, but I hope the Ravens come out and shock the world. Like I said, like we watched week one and it was things that was like a pleasant surprise. I want to be pleasantly surprised when I watch this game on Sunday.
No
Oh,
doubt.
sad, boys.
I,
Sad.
yeah, I think Mike McDaniel found something. Like I said, you see the Raven. I mean, the Bengals, they couldn't block nobody. So I think the Ravens, they like, hey, we could do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me just looking forward to quarterback showdown. I think both quarterbacks want to try to bounce back from a lackluster performance. Joe Burrow, of course, was much worse, but both of them got that bag, so both of them taking a lot of criticism right now. So I think they both gonna try to put on the show. So looking
Yeah,
forward to that,
Mm-hmm.
man.
yeah.
And
This loss that dedicated to the Bengals. Bengals fans that I know, Mike Ham, Chris Walker, Burgess. This loss dedicated to y'all.
other than that, everybody enjoy Thursday night football, which I'm about to go watch. So we'll see y'all Tuesday, same bat time, bat channel. Man, Shannon gonna do a recap. So tune in for that. The following week we'll be on doing a preview versus the Colts. With Dave will be back on with us. Love you guys, and always remember to trade. I don't know what that means. Says it right there. Talking Ravens all day, every day. With your host Justin P, my MVP co-host Shannon Fitch, our special guest, Super Day the Mailman. Love y'all guys, and we're out, and we'll see y'all Tuesday.
Good night, y'all.
Good night,
Peace,
Shannon.
y'all.
All right, Big Dave, I'm gonna holler at you, bro.